Well, I was just listening to Bruce Springsteen, and this is my iPod. Uh, this is my iPod. I have one. I actually have two iPods. I have a smaller one, the Nano, not the new one, which I don't particularly care for, with the little touch screen. I mean, actually, they don't have a camera in it. And I got a problem with that. But my other one is, it has the camera, and it's really cool. Here's a glucose meter. I've shown my other ones. This is the small one, glucose meter. It's not about glucose meters. It's not about iPods. It's not about video cameras and stuff like that. Here's my bifocals. You know, all these things, you will not find these things in nature. You find these things here. But wait a minute. What do you mean you won't find them in nature? What do you mean, Philip? What do you mean when you say that? You won't find these things in nature. Isn't this in nature? Isn't this nature? Seriously. I know that sounds crazy at first, but let's stop and think. Who made this? All this stuff around me. People, as far as I know. You know, construction crews built this building. Way back in, this building was built in 1963. I have some pills. I take blood pressure medicine because I have hypertension. Blood pressure medicine. See the little tablets. You can't even see these little pills. The little dancing pills. That's the thing. You know, that's like stuff that's created by people. Here's my little inserter. This is a little thing. I think I've shown this before in one of my videos. To insert the needle, the little infusion needle, the introductor needle into the thing when I do the infusion set. Go back to that video and you'll see me do it. There's all kind of things. You know, this is one of my favorite movies. I like this movie. I just saw this not too long ago, 2001. Here it is, 2010, and this movie was made in 1968, 2001. The technology, DVDs, this is an amazing thing. You know, you think about it. When I was a kid, I'm thinking, when I was like in high school in the 70s, I'm just thinking we didn't even have VHS back then. I think video recorders came in the late 70s, early 80s. So something like this, a movie on this, oh, that would have just been, oh, man, that, you know. And it's a long movie, too. It's like about 3 hours long. And it's all on one single disc. It's just interesting. It's interesting. All these things. But isn't this really nature? Isn't this nature? See, I think that what nature really is, nature isn't so much a thing in the world. It's not something out there. Nature is how we mentally categorize things. We categorize things as natural, and we categorize things as unnatural. So it's like a little column. You know, it's like this little column of things. We can sort of have column A and column B in our minds. You know, we have this one, column A, and then we have column B. Everything here is natural. Everything here is unnatural. You know, so, you know, a bag of Twizzlers would fit in category B. But a bag of, if I had some celery from the store, that would be in column A. That would be natural. Celery in here and Twizzlers over there. We separate things in our minds. We label it. We categorize it. And that's the thing. Different people would see things differently. You see, some people would say the celery, well, that's not natural. It's been genetically manipulated and altered. Not just even because somebody been snipping the genes out of things and stuff, but because of the way the plants have been bred over the years. People have done things selective breeding of plants, selective breeding of animals, so that we have these manipulations of things. So people would say that that's unnatural. And some people say, well, this is natural. For whatever reason, the one thing, though, what I'm thinking was really important is that what it all comes down to is how we think about it. It's rules we have in our minds about what we call natural and what we call unnatural. There are other things, too. Things that we learn by conditioning. We're conditioned to say that something that's natural is good. If a thing is natural, it's good, it's healthy. And if a thing is unnatural, it's unhealthy. Again, that's just something about using your mind a certain way. To categorize. To put things here, put things there in your mind. To think of it this way. To think of this as unnatural and unhealthy. So, we get bombarded with these messages. And, commercials help us with that. Here's a natural product, and this thing has natural this and natural that, and this has natural fiber, and this has natural whatever. Now, let's think about it. There are lots of ways we use the word natural, too. Speaking English just comes natural to me. Now, I can speak Spanish, but that's a little bit less natural to me. But it's probably more natural to me than somebody who's just learning. Somebody who just, started a class. I can speak Spanish very well. I can speak it well enough to make myself understood. Yo puedo hablar español bastante bien para hacerme entender. But what's important is this. It just, I may say it comes natural. A little bit more natural to me now than it did before. So things can become more natural. In that sense, I mean natural in the sense of it's easier. Driving a car seems very natural to me. Especially driving a car with stick shift. That even seems more natural. I seem like I was made to drive stick shift. I love driving manual transmission. Because I love it. It feels like I get a feel for the car. That just seems natural to me. For some people, that wouldn't seem natural. So natural, we mentally think of it as something that's easy. It feels graceful and free-flowing, and it has a certain beauty to it. And things that are unnatural have an awkwardness to it. All these things have to do with just things that we're conditioned to see. Things that we learn. We learn to think of things in that way. Right now, it's becoming more and more natural for me to make videos. I have an easier time doing this. I feel more comfortable doing it. There are other things that seem natural to me too, like painting. I love to paint. Here's one of my paintings. I painted rocks. I showed some of my rocks in my other thing. I actually have another rock and it's sitting behind this camera, so I'm going to move this thing. I think I might have shown this one before. It's one of my paintings. It just comes natural to me to do that. At first, it wasn't, but now, and I'll get better and better. I made this several years ago. It's just natural. It just comes natural to you to do that. It even comes natural to me to take care of my blood sugar levels, to try to keep it level. I'm using all kind of equipment and machinery and all kind of stuff. I got my insulin pump, changing the infusion set just comes more natural to me. So, again, natural is just a way we think about things. It's the way we categorize something. It isn't what anything is in the world. It's not what things are. It's the way we think of things. Is it a mistake to think of things that way? Is that itself unnatural? Again, we would be categorizing things. So it kind of gets to be a bit of a complicated issue. Sometimes you can state things in a very simple way. Or you could look at them for the beautiful complexity, which is a natural thing. Again, categorizing. Is that natural? A lot of things to think about right there. A lot of stuff to think about. Interesting.